Hello and welcome to Bute Road number 3. For those who watched number 2, you may remember there was background music playing. Got a little bit of a warning from YouTube about copyright on that, so we won't be getting any more Bee Gees Staying Alive or anything else as background music this time. So that's the first thing out of the way. Yeah, so the room is now finished timber wise. And the next stage now is to see if the original plans that I drew up a few weeks ago actually work in practice. So let's go and have a look at the track on the baseboard, just played around with and see what happens. Let's have a look. So a quick refresh to video 1, and this was the plan that I had drawn out. So the piece I'm going to concentrate today to begin with is this area here, and we're going to be looking at it that way up in a second. Probably easier if I turn the board up the other way. So we'll do that. So there we go, standing at the workbench, and that's what I'm looking to try and reconfigure above here. So coming out from the fiddle yard, what I'm hoping for is a 3-track fiddle yard that way and 3 tracks up here this way, and then a spur off of here, probably with 2 more points to give me 3 or 4 dead end sidings in the fiddle yard up there. So coming on down, that's the entrance to the fiddle yard in the down direction, and that's the exit in the up direction. We've got a crossover here, so that either track from the clay line, China clay line here, can come in or out of either direction of the fiddle yard, and then we work around there. So I know that roughly I need a curved right point there, I need a right and a curved left here to give me some clearance there, a straight right hand point there, and then I'm going for a right hand curve point here, and that will start me off with the curve for the corner and also the curve going into the branch. I'm looking at the moment that I'm hoping to get away with about a 3-foot radius on this line here. That's using track setters, which means that'll be around about a 4th radius coming out there, and that's going to be at least a 2-foot radius here, which is plenty big enough, I think. And then here you'll get the 2 tracks coming out for the main line, and this one will be the branch. So let's move now on to the station area. So now we're on the station area, so we're going to concentrate basically from here, which will be roughly where the back scene will be, and a bridge, a tunnel, whatever I decide to do, which is looking across that area there. So that's more or less going to be the start of the scenic section, looking that way towards the station. Now, one thing I've already found out is that the original plan had a crossover coming from here back out to the main line in the up direction, in the down direction. That won't work. The curve there is too tight to fit a point in, and although I can get the point in there, that just won't work, not satisfactorily anyway. So we're going to do away with that, doesn't need that, so the branch will be totally separate. So we're now looking at removing that, and that's what we're looking to do there. So let's start from the outside, and what I've got here is a piece of plastic trunking from conduit that people use for cabling, etc. And I've laid that around and held in place with just some little picot fine pins, just to support it there, bend it around and there, and that gives me a natural curve and a flow around there. I can then place the track more or less against it, and that will be roughly where the platform edging will be, and it shows me that I can have a nice curve through the station area, and when I look at it from down here it looks like quite a nice curve through the station. So that will be the main line section there. The main line will then come on down and will come to the crossover here. So we've got a point here that will go to a short head shunt. The reason that it saves a trap point, but also I can use that as a head shunt for when I'm running the yard here to run locos back and forwards without encroaching on the main line. That point there feeds back into the yard, and then there's a crossover here. So the China clay trains coming out in the down direction will come out from the yard and cross over the line and then run in the correct direction towards me there. And then we're at the end of the board where I've got to do the lift out section for the doorway. So working back now the other way, we can see we've got the short head shunt there. The line goes off onto the left for the sidings, and then we've got 3 loops down through the centre, which is what I drew out. The centre one will be mainly loco storage, stabling, that sort of thing, and then the 2 outer ones will be for through running of clay trains or any sort of train really that can pass, that's coming in or out of the branch. And then this point here will probably be a right hand curve. It will give a better flow coming in, and that will then feed through a short or through a medium or a long point there into the 2 sidings for the virtual quarry. I haven't decided the final length on them yet. They may just get shortened a little bit to give me more room for scenics at the far end, either a field or a yard or something more at the far end there. So the final length of these 2, and again they could be moved over a little bit when I actually come to do the final laying of the tracks, to give me a larger area here for scenics. Going back to the station area, the platform will start just beyond this clip, the over centre latch, and I'll probably have to put a signal cabin or something in there to hide that. The signal will go probably there, because I don't really want to come across the baseboard joint if I can help it. So the signal will probably come in here, and then the start of the platform ramps, the outer platform will come around. Station building will be a short modernish station building round about there, and then the ramps will end up going down with the end of the platform over that joint. For this joint, what I do is to get some masking tape and PVA, and I will masking tape and PVA over that joint. That will set rock hard, and then I'll just go through it with a Stanley knife to redo the cut, and then I can ballast right up to it, and that joint will not show at all. That's what I've done with other layouts in the past and had no problems at all. So then moving on, the island platform is going to be about 3.5 to 4 inches wide. Again, it will start around about here because I don't want to go over the baseboard join. It's going to be a shorter platform, only around about 5 foot, coming round and then finishing there. So that will be a nice parallel sort of platform there, and then we've got an area there, a bit of rough land in between the sidings there, in between the running lines rather, and that gives me the right sort of area that I'm looking for there. So with everything more or less where it's going to go, I know that the track plan will work. The next job will be to actually mark out and build the platform. The way I do it is to do the platform first. I use Pico platform edging, and then once that's done I lay the track up to it. So in other words, I'm not trying to mark around the track, I'm putting the track to the platform, and then that gives me a chance to make sure in the longest vehicles I've got clearance around the back, so I'm not going to catch the platform, and also the fact that I can just get a nice neat job, get the curve right on the platform to begin with. And let's move on to the next section, which is going to be the nightmare. We've got a bit of a gap. Oh dear, we've got a gap. And so we come to the doorway section. The original plan was some sort of viaduct. As you can see, I've drawn a curved viaduct. I wanted to use the Wills viaduct, but that only builds as a straight viaduct, and to try and curve it ends up like a 50p piece. So the gap I've got is there, the ledge there for the drop-in section to rest on, and I will form a ledge onto this portion here as well, and I've cut it away at an angle, and the reason is I want the tracks to be able to cross the doorway section at 90 degrees there. So cross at 90 degrees there, come around on the curve and come back in here at 90 degrees here. So that's where I'm at the moment. So I've got to work out what I'm going to do in the form of a viaduct, bridge, some sort of scenic section that can drop in there. Yes, that's better. Right, okay, so I've got a sheet of 4mm ply. That's going to be used to build a drop down box section, so it'll be nice and lightweight, and obviously quite a bit of it will be cut away as well. And then I'll still use 9mm ply for the actual track piece across the top. It looks like I'm going to have to build the viaduct myself, probably do a curved viaduct out of the 9mm top, put some legs under it down to what will be the drop down box section about here somewhere, and then probably cover it in something like Slater's plasticard, or find a suitable stone effect that's a bit like a Cornish sort of stone from there. And then once the tracks come off, as I said just now, I'm hoping they'll come off of there at around about 90 degrees to the cut that's across in under here, and then curve around, and that will then bring us back around to, excuse the junk, the other end of the fiddle yard. And the fiddle yards, this board's 8 foot long, so the fiddle yard, well, it won't be long. That's going to be my biggest problem, but then I'm not going to be running super long freight liners and oil trains, etc. The trains will be about 5 to 7 wagon China clay, silver bullets and that sort of thing. So we're not looking at a massive great fiddle yard. So that's where we're at. That's the track planning will work. I'm happy with everything. The next stage now will be starting to do the platform, and that will be probably in the next video, I hope. Just looking along the layout from the door section, the eventual plan is not to have a straight line down there. There'll be a curvature, a long curve into the platform, so it'll come from here and aim around and then blend into the platform. So no straight lines, hopefully, once it's laid. Yep. Okay, one thing that has come up this week is an analysis by YouTube of my videos, and it shows the average watching time per video is only around about 5 minutes. Now that tells me that my videos are pretty boring, but also the fact that people don't want to watch more than a few minutes of each video and then switch off. So I might cut down and do shorter videos, and we'll see how it goes, but there we go. Anyway, on to the next one next week, and thanks again for watching. Bye now.